Whoa. Yo, look. Look. The REM pod's going off underneath the tree. Underneath the swinging bird feeder. What the hell? What the hell? I just saw a light right there. Whoa. What is that? What is that? What's up, guys? My name is Chad. Welcome back to a brand new haunted adventure this time. I've actually returned to the Greystone Manor. This place actually is extremely haunted, very historical. There's lots of stuff going on here. There is a ton of stuff going on here, from the land being haunted, the house being haunted, several deaths in the house. We'll get into the history of the house. I'm not going to go over any of that stuff with you because we're going to go inside and meet Heather, the owner, and she's going to do a tour with us, and then we're going to go on and investigate. I am here with Angelo, so let's go inside, let's meet Heather, let's get on with the tour. We'll go over everything, and then we'll do some investigating as well, and then we'll see what we can find. Make sure you give the video a thumbs up, subscribe if you're new. Let's get on with the adventure. We'll start with the tour part of the video. So let's go inside, meet Heather, and get on with this adventure. Let's go.
Just to start, the house goes back to 1833. It was owned by the Newcomb family. They were fruit farmers. They're the ones who owned the property. They were coopers. They had a big shop on the property where they built carriages. So they also had a blacksmith shop. And out back, the buildings are no longer there, but there were a whole bunch of buildings out there. Big carriage house, big blacksmith shop, two big huge barns, and there were like workmen's quarters and things like that. So a whole bunch of buildings out back. There's foundations left out there now. I can walk you back there later. Sure. So when we go through the tour, I'll show you where all that is too, so you can sort of check things out. Newcombs were here from 1833 till about 1860. The two sons, the man who owned the property, so the Newcombs, the two sons ended up inheriting the property, and there was sort of a fight between the two of them. The one son ended up with everything, the house and all the land. The other son only ended up with 2 acres of apple orchards on the property. So this property is actually really, really big. It goes quite a while into the next county, and then over this way originally. So it was actually a lot of land to have that fight over the two of them. And then, so going into 1860, the house changed hands, was sold to the Chapin family. They lived next door. They ended up moving in. They were only here for about 4 years. Then they sold it to the Root family. And the road is called Root Road, the road that this house sits on, named after the Root family. And they used to live on the corner. They were a big family that were there originally on Ridge and Root Road, which is at the end of the street here. That's why the street is called Root Road. Their great-grandfather up here on the wall is Erastus Root. He's like the patriarch of the family. Big politician, big political figure. Even locally, the Roots were all involved in politics as well. And so his grandson ended up buying a property, and he used it as a big horse farm. He turned it into like a racing farm. He raised racehorses here. He had a big quarter-mile track on the property next to the house where he would race horses. People would come from all around to watch the races too. So it wasn't just a private track, it was people would actually come watch the races. And he was raising ponies, race horses. At the same time Curtis owned this house, he owned a big plantation down in Virginia, and where he also had a racetrack and horse facility. These people were also involved in the Underground Railroad. Erastus Root was a politician. He was really good friends with Thomas Jefferson, and he was a governor in New York for like 35 years. He was a brigadier general. He was Secretary of War for a while. So he was really heavily involved in politics, and he was a big abolitionist, so he was always trying to fight for anti-slavery laws, trying to pass those in New York State way back in the 1820s, long before the Civil War. So they're all part of the Underground Railroad as well. So this house was under a railroad stop too. There's some areas where the stairs move in the back, they're not attached to the floor. Other weird things, there's like a hatch in the back room that opens up where you could sort of crawl in and get into the house, so there's some other weird things. And the Roots were also raising racehorses down in Virginia in their plantation, and then sneaking With the racehorses, they're bringing people up on the real railroad cars with the ponies, as groomsmen and jockeys and things like that. So they're sort of shuttling people up from their farm down in Virginia up here to this farm, because as soon as you get here to where our house is, we're considered an Erie Canal house. We're on the canal. You can see the canal from here. It's where that little bridge is. I don't know if you guys came over that bridge there. So it's considered an Erie Canal house. There's also railroad tracks. So the trains would actually come right up here. And if you drive up this way about 10 minutes, you hit Lake Ontario. So they would come right up here, disappear off the trains, helping with the ponies, and all of a sudden they would sort of be gone, the people helping them, and they would just go up the road here and cross the lake and go into Canada. So there's that as well. And Curtis Root, though, the man who owned the house, the racehorses, he did pass in the house as well. He was crushed accidentally by one of his racehorses, taking him into town to get supplies for the track. It was really icy, snowy. He was walking past the railroad tracks. Train came by, spooked the horse. The horse was sliding in the snow. He was trying to steady him. The horse spun around, landed on him, and he was crushed by him. And he got on the horse, though, thought he was just bruised, made it back to the house, told his wife that he was fine, don't call a doctor. He thought he was just, like I said, bruised. Got into bed in what we call the green room, which is the room right above us. And he ended up passing about 2 weeks later in that room. Probably internal bleeding. Because he thought he was getting better, but probably whatever was going on, back then too. This is 1860, 1889, so they weren't really, there was no modern medicine really back then.
Yeah.
So also his wife, Melissa Root, died in that same room in 1901, and she had pneumonia, so she had a lot of breathing issues. She was sick for a while. She passed in that room. Going into a few years earlier, before Curtis died, about 10 years earlier, Melissa's father, Daniel Stoll, also died in this house as well. Of complications, it was like heart and breathing as well. So lots of breathing, lots of pressure in your chest. That's one of the things people complain about here that they experience.
Okay.
So a lot of tightness in your chest.
Is that like
breathing.
anywhere in the house or just in a specific room?
Certain specific rooms, mostly upstairs, but it sort of happens everywhere. In the basement you get it a lot, on the stairs you get it a lot.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but I'll sort of point those areas out too. So the Roots were here for quite a while. They were here after 1901, after Melissa died. Their youngest daughter, Flora, took over the whole business. So she ran everything. She ran the racetrack down in Virginia. They also owned a big oyster farm down in Harvey's Wharf, Virginia. So the Roots were part of that business as well. But she ended up taking everything over, which is unusual for back in the day because she was a woman. This is back in 1889 when Curtis died, and then when her mom passed away, she took everything over and ran everything. And then she sold the house in 1923 to the Kalkenberg family. And there's pictures of them over here. So you have a look at them. These people actually came here for a seance about maybe 3 or 4 years ago now. And they brought a lot of their photos, and it was really nice to meet them because it was great to have them tell us their experiences, what it was like when they would come here to visit their aunt who bought the house. So their grandparents, this is Henry and Minnie Kalkenberg, they bought the house in 1923 from the Roots. They're actually standing in front of the house in this picture, and they were dairy farmers. So they were very, very, very different. The Roots were very wealthy. They were politicians. They had racehorses. They were all about money and show, and they would have a lot of events here and public events and things. So it mattered how the house looked.
Right.
The house looked like it looks now. Everything in here is original. All the woodwork, everything from the medallions in the ceiling, all this stuff was all left here from even the Newcombs being here. So it was all original. They moved in. They were blue-collar workers, hard workers. They were dairy farmers. They were real farmers too, so they had crops and everything they put in. So very, very, very different. They let the racetrack grow over. They brought their cows in. So very, very different type of people. They moved in with their daughter, Mina. This is her wedding photo. She was 18 when she got married to her husband. Oops, I'm sorry. Her husband Dorson right there. So these two stayed in the house. So when they got married, they ended up living here. They were in the gold room. So that was their room. That's where they stayed. They ended up moving into the green room, where Curtis had passed and Melissa. This is Richard Kalkenberg. This is his father. He may have passed in the house too. We were trying to figure that out, but we know that he was around as well. These pictures were left in the house after the Kalkenbergs left and were found by the owners previous to us. They found them in a bunch of newspaper and stuff like that. And it shows these people, like this man is a young man in this photo right here. That's him as well. So this goes back to the 1880s. This is not a picture of this house, but this is where they lived before they bought
Yeah.
this house. But it's just sort of interesting. And then these pictures are going back into the 1950s, and this shows the barns out back. So this is what used to be in the backyard here. I've got another picture too somewhere, but it's sort of nice to get a visual of what it used to look like out there. They died in 1949 and 1951, I believe it was, and with heart issues. Also in that green room, both these guys died in the house. They were waked in the front window here. This is what they used for the coffins, in this bay window here. And then mine ended up inheriting the house when the parents passed away. Dorson, her husband, was not he was not a farmer at all. He worked for General Motors. So he worked for a company that did like fan blades, radiator, he would spray like asbestos on radiator belts, things like that. He ended up getting mesothelioma, getting a horrible lung illness, and when he was young, right, so he was pretty young when he started getting sick with this, so he was probably 30s, 40s.
Yeah.
And he was bedridden for years in what we call the gold room. So
Okay.
he was there for a long, long time. Relatives who came for that seance and came to visit us, bringing us all these pictures, said they remember even being really little kids having to sit with him and visit him when he was upstairs in that room. And so he was sick for years in bed. At the end of his life, he couldn't do the stairs anymore, couldn't walk around.
Yeah.
They put his bed into the dining room, and that's where he ended up passing away.
Oh,
He was
okay.
in the dining room, but he was only, I believe he was 56 or so when he passed, and that was in 1962. Yeah, so then it just was left to Mina. She inherited the house. She was here by herself. They never had children, never had kids. So there was no one really to help her. She did have a farmhand working here with her. His name was Jake Crowley, and he was here for a long, long time. He was here when the parents were here. He was an older man. He was also living out in the barn, so he did not live in the house. And we were just told recently that he did die in the basement here. That he fell down the stairs, which explains a lot of the activity in the basement. He was a heavy drinker. He was always getting into trouble with the law. He was always having to be bailed out of jail, brought back to the house because he was always getting into trouble. So he was having all kinds of issues. And then we were told by the neighbors, whose father's now in his 90s and who was good friends with these guys back in the day, that he remembered all that happening,
Right.
that was an issue here. So, but it was definitely a fall. And the owners before us had found, well, they found booze bottles hidden everywhere in the house. They were just taking garbage cans full of like vodka bottles and from everywhere. They were hidden under the floorboards, hidden just everywhere. He had them stashed all over the house and all over the place. So, yeah, quite a bit. No, you're staying in. No. No, because we gotta find Eric anyway, so we
So I
can
think
do
it's upstairs.
that. The fluffy one, the
Yeah,
little,
the little dotted.
the gold one. No, there's like a gold one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they don't go out once it gets dark because we have coyotes out there.
Oh, okay.
And
Makes sense,
owls and
yeah.
all kinds of
Yeah, they'll get
fun
them.
things
They'll get
that'll
them real
float,
quick.
that'll fly away with these
Yeah.
guys. He knows better. So yeah, going into Mina being here, so then she was here for quite a while by herself, but after her husband died, she started having issues with glaucoma. She lost her vision. She was blind for about 30 years and she lived here. It got so bad, her vision got so bad that she couldn't find her way around the house, and she only ended up being in this room here. She closed all the pocket doors, and she would use the kitchen, which is through there, and this little room here where we have just like a little TV room, and she put her bed in there. And that was it, because she couldn't find her way around the house anymore. So she was definitely sort of in these rooms. And then she was here for quite a while, until, well, she was in her 90s when she passed. But she was here for quite a while by herself, and then in the 1980s, neighbors came to check on her because they had no idea she was here by herself. They thought the house was abandoned because there's no lights on,
Yeah.
no electric upstairs. She didn't need to have one because she was blind.
Yeah.
So people always, the house was always dark, had no idea someone was living here, and everything was overgrown outside. Because the guy who was supposed to be doing all the work in the house had passed, away as well. So they came and called help in for her, and they brought in adult protective services for her because of the way she was living. Because she was starting to get dementia, she was having a little bit of a hard time. But there were missing windows, there's all kinds of issues going on. The upstairs was sort of unusable. It was in really, really rough shape. There were holes in the ceiling and things like that. She had raccoons living in the house. She had lots of cats living in here. She couldn't tell the difference. Like the nurses would come in the morning to take care of her, and she'd be laying in bed, and there'd be raccoons sleeping on the bed with her.
Jeez.
So it was getting to the point where
Fun times.
It was really bad. Oh my God. So it got pretty bad. So they finally brought in help for her, and they were taking care of her a little bit. And then she started getting really sick at the end of her life. And her niece came and took her into hospice, and like a few days later she passed away. So she really pretty much was taken right out of here and passed away right away. She's heard and felt in here quite a bit, in this room as well. Going back to the Roots, that Melissa Root, Curtis Root, the main couple, they're heard a lot. Curtis is heard a lot upstairs. We hear him talking, they hear arguing a lot, lots of audibles, not just EVPs, you hear her talking. And Melissa, you hear her a lot in the stairwell behind you, so she walks on the stairs and she sort of walks in that whole hallway area, because that would have been the main entrance back in the day. So then going into with Mina being here and her passing away in 2000, the farm next door are dairy farmers. These guys are dairy farmers, they all knew each other. They ended up buying the farm from them. They just wanted farmland, though they didn't want the house.
Yeah.
Because at that point, the house was in really bad shape, it was falling down, it had all kinds of issues. They didn't want to deal with it, because nothing was updated, nothing. Like it was original to 1830s, so. They were only here, they had it for about a year, and that's when the owners previous to us ended up buying the property. She worked for the government as well, which is weird. Everyone who worked here or lived here were all, they were all psychics. They all had something to do with politics, and they all sort of were following the same sort of patterns. It was sort of odd.
Some sort of weird connection.
Right. All this weird spiritualist community up here in Gasport too. Lots of psychics lived in this area too. So she ended up, she was living about 10 minutes drive from here, was driving out in the country one day, saw this house and was like, I have to go look at that, 'cause she was an antiques dealer as well. So she came over, pulled in the driveway, started looking in the windows, and it looked like this in here, like all this is original.
Yeah.
The woodwork's never been redone, nothing, and which is really crazy that this house still is intact as it is. And she told her husband, we need that house, we need to buy that house. So found out who owned it, and about a year later she ended up buying it. So she came in and did all the stuff you don't see in the house. She all new electric, all new plumbing, all new roof. Like she saved it. She really, really did. It was in such bad shape,
Yeah.
and she did so much work on it. She really did put it back together. But then she was here about 14 years. They were having all kinds of issues with the house because they were taking all the original wallpaper down. They were ripping up the floorboards. They were running plumbing. And people were getting attacked and scratched and pushed down the stairs, and work crews, they couldn't keep working here because they were getting in, and well, it was dangerous. Tools would go missing, they would have things thrown at them, like it was crazy. And they were getting all spooked out because they were hearing voices, and weird writing was showing up on the floors upstairs in the rooms. And she has pictures that she sent to me, which is crazy. One was a Bible verse. And the workmen even accused her of letting the kids upstairs to play in the work, because they had the whole top floor sort of like you couldn't go up, there was a work zone, so they had it like blocked off basically. And her kids at the time were really little, they were only like 3 and 4 years old, so they weren't writing cursive on the floor up there.
Exactly.
So lots of weird stuff was going on, and it got so bad she had to have about 4 exorcisms done. She was bringing all these reverends in from this psychic community called Lilydale. She was having these psychics come in, do all these blessings, try and do this whole, thing here in the house, trying to calm the energy down. And it just wasn't working. Every time she'd do these ceremonies that they'd try and do an exorcism, it would just amplify it. It would just get worse.
Yeah.
She kept seeing this shadow man. She was pushed down the stairs a bunch of times. She said she had multiple miscarriages. She said she kept getting pregnant here, and then this shadow man would like hold her down, and she had these miscarriages. Like it was awful. Like she was being attacked, and all this craziness was going on. She was doing some strange things though. She definitely saved the house, like I said. But she was also removing a lot of original things, as far as like the original carpets that were on the floor here were all Victorian, but they were full of bugs and nasty. Wallpaper was all original, but she took it all down. But I don't think they understood, what was going on. They were watching her just sort of destroying everything. So she was definitely getting attacked. She did dig up one of the tombstones that was outside though, and bring it in here as a decoration. So the whole time she lived here, it was in front of the fireplace, and it said Our Ben on it. And she thought it was a racehorse grave, but it ended up being one of the smaller children of the Root family, probably 3 or 4-year-old boy. And her son said he used to see a little boy in the closet in his room upstairs, which we call the kids' room.
Right.
He would come out of the closet at night, sit on the end of his bed, wake him up, want to play, wouldn't leave him alone, always wanted to like talk and all that. And that's what I know you were getting at before with the kids' room with the door opening. They don't like when the door's closed. For the basic gist, I mean, that's how that all sort of went. She was here until the previous owner took me until about 2014. Then the house went into foreclosure. About 3.5 years, the bank owned it. And they were doing some stupid stuff, like they were painting everything white and, you know, the walls and stuff. You know, they're trying to
Yeah.
make it all bland. And then they couldn't sell it. The house wouldn't sell. There were a bunch of tombstones though on the what we call the kitchen side of the house. When you pulled in the driveway, there's about 15 graves there with markers. And we ended up running into the previous family's kids. They came to stay with us for a weekend and told us all about the stuff they found in the house when they lived here. Different things they experienced too. It was great to talk to them, and it was really cool to compare notes because they had the same stuff happen to them that's happening to us. Same kinds of noises, same kinds of like smells that you smell, and the doors opening and closing, all kinds of weird stuff. So yeah, there were about 7. Well, she said it was about 15 or 16 graves that were over there, all in the grass. And she warned us not to hit them with a riding lawnmower because we'd break the blades. And so did the man who owns the cornfields around us, the farmland. He warned us as well because he owned the land for about 2 years. He had to mow the lawn, and he always said he would never mow over there because there's a whole bunch of tombstones over there. And we never saw these tombstones. So we think the bank ditched them. We think they dug them up and hid them, or dug a hole and threw them in, or we don't know what happened. They're gone. They're not over there.
Nobody wants to live in a house with tombstones.
Well, that's the
directly
thing.
next to it, right?
Right.
Well, the thing is, you pull into the driveway on the
Yeah.
kitchen side, and you were
It's
looking
literally
at
the first thing
them.
you'd see. Yeah.
Oh yeah. So like if you were ever sitting outside having a picnic or something, you were right there. So
That's creepy.
Yes. Well, there's some people I would have thought that was cool, but
I
a
would've
lot
thought
of
that was
people
cool.
would have been
Oh, yeah.
were freaked out for
It's,
sure.
it's story time. Like, hey, who's buried here?
Yeah. Well, that's the thing, and I kept asking them, like, do you remember any of the names that were on these tombstones? Like, who do you think, who was here? Because they had a lot of Irish indentured servants here. They had a lot of people who worked for them here,
Yeah.
who were not just family. Like,
And
it
at
was a
that time, if they
big.
had died on the property, they would have just been buried here. 'cause
Absolutely.
They had nowhere else to go.
Right.
No family, nothing.
Right.
They were-
Absolutely. Especially those people,
Yeah.
because they were sent over here, they were
Mhm.
coming in from Europe or whatever, and if they weren't going to ship them back. If
Yeah,
they passed
yeah.
away, that's pretty much where they stayed, and they weren't going to pay to have big plots made for them or anything. So they were definitely stuck. And our Ben grave was under the one tree out there. We have bird feeders hanging, and the weird thing is those bird feeders just spin by themselves. Like we have a lot of footage of it. I've never seen anything like it. There's be no wind, and they'll just rotate. And then you put EMF meters under there, run pods, they'll ask EVPs, ask questions, and you get all kinds of stuff that lights up. You'll get answers, you'll get all kinds of responses, and everything. People have been touched and stuff over there. So it's sort of a weird area. Like it shouldn't be moving at all. I have no
Yeah.
idea why it moves. So they definitely can manipulate things. And then going back further, like doing the research on the property and the land, we were told that the back fields of the house here have burial mounds in them. So Native American history as well, on the Iroquois. And there was a huge thing that came through, a big battle that came through here called the Scorched Earth Campaign.
Okay.
During the French and Indian War, the War of 1812, that whole time, that whole era, where they burned, the Americans burned all the Native American villages down and massacred everybody who was helping the British. Coming up from the Genesee River Valley area, on the diagonal, right through Gasport, up to Niagara Falls,
Oh, okay.
up to the old Fort Niagara.
Mhm.
So they were murdering everybody who was helping the British and burning them alive, killing them, burning all the crops down so they couldn't regrow them. It was
Right.
called Scorched Earth Campaign. General Sullivan was the one who ran it. And then in retaliation, the British did the same. They came and killed everybody who was helping the Americans, all the Native Americans, because they were split at the time. People
Yeah.
were picking sides.
Yeah.
Massacred everybody, going up to Old Fort Niagara, chased them all up to the fort, Old Fort Niagara. The ones that made it on foot or running, this is winter too, it was snowy. They got to the fort, said, hey, these people are trying to kill us. At the fort they said, sorry, we don't have any room, we can't let you in, and they all froze to death. So it was this massacre that happened. Ground zero is like this whole area right here.
Yeah.
So that's probably why this whole area is so active.
Yeah.
this whole Niagara region is just crazy.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, there were just tons and tons of people who lived here. The Native Americans, they had all the huge settlements here. And they find stuff all the time here. People who grew up in this, our neighbors here, when they grew up in this area, they said that they would wait till the farmers would plow their fields under, like at harvest time, and they wait for the first rain, and then you would see all the arrowheads.
Oh,
They'd be all over the surface of the ground because the flint is like a gray color and they'd be shiny.
Mm-hmm.
And they would pick up artifacts like little pipes and all kinds of stuff because it was constantly churned up because this was a huge settlement here.
Yeah.
So, yeah, so quite a bit of Native American stuff, lots of shadow people outside. You feel you're being followed, you hear voices, you get touched out there. People have caught just craziness. I have footage of it. They'll be filming with like a light on like you're doing, and you see these big mists that go past your camera. And that's all back by the graves out there. Because we do have a little cemetery area that we did find, you know, that we did uncover, so quite a bit with that too. So that brings us to us. We ended up buying it in 2017. We moved in, had no idea if there was anything going on here.
Mhm.
We just knew it was an older home until we moved in, and then we started experiencing things and hearing voices, and things were being thrown at us, and we were hearing things.
Oh wow.
We were getting touched, and well, the first thing we were doing was we were hearing sounded like furniture being dragged around.
Mm-hmm.
And we had people help us move in the day before. We thought that someone stayed over. We thought someone, like, we had a big group of people here, like all the friends and relatives and stuff. And the next morning we're in here having coffee, like sitting here, and we're hearing boom, 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 boom running, you know. Sounded like dresser drawers. You know when you open a dresser drawer and it's empty, a dresser, and it goes through that.
Right.
It was like that. And we're like, what is that? And we're like looking up, what the hell? And we would go up there, nothing up there, because we thought maybe somebody slept here. Like maybe somebody that crashed and we didn't know they stayed, or
Yeah.
so all kinds of stuff. And then we finally got a hold of the previous owner to us, and that's when we started comparing notes, and it was really fascinating to hear her take on it. Yeah, same kinds of things. And that was about 6 months after we moved in there. And after 6 months of being here, we had already had friends in who were psychics, had friends in who were paranormal investigators.
Okay.
You know, and then they were sort of picking up on the same things we were picking up. We weren't telling them what we were getting or what we thought was going on. We just were like, hey, come over.
Yeah.
Let me know what you think.
Yeah.
And they were all like making a beeline for the exact same
Yeah.
spots. Like, oh, there's a man over here. And I feel it was so crazy to watch people because people were all doing the same. They're all like looking behind them because you just feel like somebody's standing behind you. Weird. So it's pretty cool. Mm-hmm.
Now
Yeah.
you're a psychic as well, or?
Yes, I'm a
Oh.
psychic medium. Yeah.
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
I guess there's your connect, but you're not a politician
Not yet.
Not yet.
Oh, boy.
No.
Maybe.
I'll rule the world. Oh, no. Yeah, no grand ideas.
Cool.
No, not yet. Did you guys want to check out outside before it gets really dark?
Sure.
Just because it's going to be dark in a minute?
Why not?
This is the computer I was telling you about. That will just start spinning.
Yeah.
You can even draw attention to it. Like, it's windy now, right?
that's
And
what
it's not moving.
That's what I was thinking. I'm like, it's not even moving down. It's pretty windy.
Then make that spin for us, and you can ask, like, make it rotate. It's starting to rock now.
Does it go like both ways? Does it only go one way when it spins?
I'll show you, it spins. It's crazy. And there'll be days when there's like no wind, and that thing will be going like a propeller.
Crazy.
It's super weird. And right now it's windy and it's not really moving.
Yeah.
So to debunk it, it is definitely very, very odd. That's what I'd say, that one. But this is where all the graves were too, all in that area right there.
Just right here?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
It was all like here, and then this whole patch of grass all in this area, going over here towards the driveway.
You said it was what, 15 graves?
About 15 or 16 they said, yes, quite a few. You see that?
Oh yeah. Whoa.
I don't know if you can see that, but the like branches aren't moving at all.
Yeah.
It's super weird.
That
And
is weird.
we'll be just sitting out here, won't be doing anything,
Mhm.
and then it'll just start spinning like crazy.
Yeah.
We'll be like, what the heck's going on? So,
Just that one or the other one too?
no, just that one.
So while that one's moving, that one just stays
Yeah.
still like that.
Yeah, it doesn't do anything. Doesn't move.
Weird.
And we build it all different times of year. It
Yeah.
doesn't matter if it's spring or summer or winter.
Yeah.
But it's just something interesting. So if you're out here doing any interesting questions, you'll find a lot of weird stuff usually under this tree. And even with that, just remember now it's windy and it's not moving.
Yeah, it was pointing.
Just so you guys can like
just a
debunk it.
smidge,
Like,
just
okay,
enough.
it's not moving.
Yeah.
I mean, it's barely swinging.
Yeah, it's
It
moving
moved
like
just
normal.
enough when the wind came.
Yeah, like it would normally if it were
Oh my god,
super, super weird.
that's creepy.
It's super creepy. As far as that, when you're sitting there and all of a sudden it's going crazy. Just watch your head again. And then there's a little fire pit area over there. This area over here is where we kept getting a lot of shadow people
Mm.
in that center area. Over there behind that tree, it's not pictures. It almost looks like they're peeking out from behind the tree, the trunks of those trees there. And they'll look blacker than black, like we have like a hand on the bark and like a head whipping around. It's
Oh, wow.
creepy. And this is where they're catching a lot of those mists I was telling you about, like how you're filming now.
Right.
Like you would see them like go in front of your camera. And then this is the cemetery that we did uncover. 'Cause
Oh,
this
there's
was
another
all
one here. Oh wow.
because this is all overgrown,
Yeah.
like this stuff right here, and so the previous owner's daughter, when she came to stay with us, said, "Hey, there's more tombstones in here, but they're older," she said, and we weren't sure if they're animals, people, what, you know, we can't really read the writing. A couple are really faded. Generally, so I don't know how far they go back. And so we started clearing this out because it looked like this stuff. It was just overgrown.
Yeah.
We took about 10 trees out of here, all kinds of ivy out. As we were pulling stuff out, these were like just standing in there. So we just sort of tried to save it. Yeah, I mean, she said there was more in here. We just never had a chance to get in there.
Right.
Really clean all that out. But going through this path, though, takes you into the barn area. I'll show you into here. So this is the barn. You see like the old walls,
Oh yeah.
corners.
Oh wow.
Like there's some old melted plow in there.
Oh wow.
This is the old trough right here for the animals and everything. It's like 70 by 90 foot. You saw the picture, so big two-story barns.
Right.
There are two twin barns, one right next to the other.
And how did they get destroyed? Just fell apart one day?
No, the people who own the farmland around the cornfields that are there,
Mm.
because they own the cornfields, like we
Okay.
own the rest of it. He didn't think it was safe for the previous owner's kids would play in here, and it was
right.
intact. We have pictures of it. It was actually all intact.
Yeah.
This is made out of what's Medina sandstone, is what it's called. It's what they build churches out of.
Mm-hmm.
It's literally made to withstand fire.
Yeah.
It's made so that when it burns down, you just rebuild on top of that foundation.
Right. Makes sense.
He didn't think it was safe. He took a tractor, knocked that one down,
Mm.
came over here, started knocking this one down, and his dad came over and stopped him. Because there's no reason to knock it down. Because you can't plant anything here. It's,
Yeah.
it would have been, you could have just put a roof on it and made
Yeah.
it a garage or whatever. But
Mhm. Oh well.
history, right?
Yeah.
Who cares? Yeah. But it is pretty weird.
Yeah.
This area is sort of strange. It would have been very, very, very busy, very active. But going this way is where the racetrack was.
Oh, okay.
So you do hear men talking over here. It's very strange. There's nothing in here. You know, it's just
Mhm.
cornfield.
Just
And
corn.
you do hear like walking, rustling and stuff. It's pretty weird. You hear a lot of action and stuff going on in that corn. You hear chanting and drumming too. Native American, literally Native American. It sounds like drumming and chanting.
Right.
Quite a bit. Oh, they cut yells.
Oh.
Like the Native American sounds like chants or yells.
Yeah.
Like weird
Like
stuff.
battle
in there.
cries, maybe.
Battle cries.
Yeah.
Like they'll play YouTube, you know what I mean, like certain chants and dances and stuff, and then you'll get like responses.
Oh, interesting.
This is a blacksmith shop. There's like a big metal
Yeah.
tub in there. There's like pieces of metal. This is the old foundry. So the walls around, you can see the sheet of stone around that you're standing in.
Yeah.
It goes all around the outside. But this has been weird. We caught a little boy talking over here.
Mm-hmm.
EVPs. You know, we asked if you could say your name, and he said, "I don't think so," like really loud. So it's weird. They caught quite a bit of stuff over here.
Yeah.
Cool. Because over in here, there's like a big, their metal like cooling tank and stuff is all in there still.
Right.
Careful your foot. Yeah, there's some metal, big metal pieces and stuff.
Stepping over it.
Yep.
Nice.
Yeah. Yep. And then we'll go back through here. And this is all the original floor. You can sort of see the stone.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, you could feel it walking on it.
And then,
Oh,
yeah, be
careful.
Yeah, and like I said, once it gets dark, it's pretty dark in here, but you guys have
Yeah.
pretty good sized lights there. Let's go this way. It won't be treacherous.
Has anybody ever slept on this hammock here overnight?
That's how you get ticks,
Probably
bud.
not in years, yeah. And if you want.
Is that where you're sleeping tonight?
No, no.
Sleep outside.
No, thanks.
Yeah, 3 nice beds in there, but
Nah. Are you guys coming?
Yeah.
You guys coming?
Come down this thing.
You coming with
I'll
us?
go second.
Okay,
Well,
bye.
This one, I'll show you the other one. 'Cause there's 2 staircases down here. So this is the one staircase.
yeah.
And, you know, when we moved in, this was all just a giant open basement.
Yeah.
There were no walls. The lady before us, Ginger, had taken all the walls down because she wanted to put this new concrete floor in. It was all just dirt floor down here at the time. Which is great, leveled it all, but it also brought the floor level up about a foot because she put drainage and everything. It's just sort of interesting if you're getting like shadow people or like orbs. Sometimes they look like they're half on the ground because it should be like a foot lower. You know what I mean? So this whole thing. So we knew where the walls were because we could see the brick. So we rebuilt all the walls down here, put all the doors back out.
Right.
So they call this the portal area. I feel like people grab your feet through the stairs here. So people have, just be really careful on the stairs because people feel like they're going to fall.
Right.
They've heard voices in here. We've had electricians working in here. We've been touched and all kinds of weird stuff in this area. But this is this other staircase that we opened up. So this is just sort of interesting because it's all original. Like the original paint from the 1830s is all on here, hinges and locks and everything. It just unlocks like that. It's just a slide lock. And this is like the original entrance into the basement from outside. These are the steps I was talking about, the stone steps.
Yeah.
So he would have been coming in and out of here a lot, probably, working down
So
here.
this is where he died?
That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
More in this area because the stone steps. Like you
Right.
would have come in here, and if you cracked your head, you'd be in trouble.
Mm-hmm.
But the cool thing is, everything in here is original. We only cleared this out recently because it was full of like just junk and ladders and all kinds of stuff. This is all stuff that's been found on the property in the barns out there. Also up here, this is for the horses, but all the original stuff. You know, these are all the original carriage steps that were found out by the Lexus shop, made by the Newcomb family, who used to make carriages.
Oh.
They're all like handmade carriage steps, which is really sort of cool. Hi, Jim.
Edgewood Manor? What's that?
That was just a thing we used to do for years ago in my old house
Oh.
for a Halloween thing.
Yeah.
Which is funny when I find this.
Yeah. So where did the name come from?
It's a
Greystone.
mix. Well, it's Scottish, Greystone.
You guys just came up with it?
We did because at first, well, technically in the registry for New York State, it's the Curtis and Melissa Root Home.
Okay.
But also, the Newcombs here were here for a long time, and so were the Kaltenbergs. So I didn't want to just name it after the one family. Do you know what I mean? I wanted to
Yeah,
sort of have
yeah,
have everybody's history told.
Right.
I didn't think it was fair to have it just be the one thing. So we just were calling it Greystone Manor.
Right.
Yeah.
It's a good name anyway, so.
Yeah. I mean, we could have done it that way, but you know. And these are all the original front doors because we have to rebuild that front porch. And these are the original front headers for the front door. These are all
wow.
pieces that go back on. So when we get the porches done, this all has to go back on. But it was all it fell off the house. And they saved it all, so we can put it back on, which is great.
Jeez.
We have the original front doors in the shed too. So, hey Jim.
We have a lot of original stuff here left behind.
Yeah. Oh, that's what's like, even the way this is built. Like if you look.
Oh, yeah.
Like how high
It's so
all
crazy
that is.
how
Like,
old
it's
it is.
amazing. Look at the original nails. Like even the way this door is built with all the weird nails and the blocks and everything.
Does that door open?
It's broken on this side. Yeah.
Okay.
hmm But that just goes into the area where the dogs are, the little dog park area.
Oh, the beads. I forgot about that. I forgot about the beads. The beads.
Come on in.
Hello.
It's like thinking about going back in time.
Yeah.
70s or something.
So, yeah, coming in through here. So going in through there, that's just the billiard room, back by the basement. It's like a game room.
There's more.
Oh yes.
Cool.
And then all the lights go on the switch right over here.
Does this guy have a name?
The other one was Josh. He
Chris?
didn't name him yet. Yeah. But it's a cooling coffin.
Yeah.
That's what they used to use instead of body bags back in the day. They carry people around in that. But yeah, so if you do want to have it dark down here, just those two switches. The switch up there, the switch over there. You saw them, right? Where you turn them off. Up here. So this turns off the lights off. It's just easier than trying to turn all the lights off. Right here, this one. And then this one up here.
Yes, I think last time Derek caught like a pool ball.
Yeah, were you here with that for that one?
Yeah.
Cut 'em
That was
back.
crazy.
It was like
Yes.
Oh, the pool
I
ball.
forgot what happened exactly. I think
I
it was
have
like
it on here.
I think it was like close to the pocket or something, and then it got knocked in or something.
He said he had them all like about an inch or so from the pocket edge. So he had them all like balanced like that. You know, so they were all sort of uniform. And they were asking if someone could push the ball in the pocket. And as they're standing here, they're filming it. And then everything started lighting up. So they had K2 meters and it started like lighting up. So he started filming.
Yeah, this room was like really active.
Oh yeah, this room was crazy. Shadow people get scratched and touched in here all the time. Lots of weird stuff in here. Especially Eric. He's really weird. Yeah, lots
It was Eric. Eric did it.
Yeah. Well, you weren't looking just.
yeah. Yeah, that's why if you can, if you're down here, try not to let them.
Just hop right in.
Yeah. Well, the other dummy that's in the chair out there used to be in here, and he's all soft,
Oh, okay.
and he used to sleep on them all the time.
Mm.
So they come in here and curl up on him and sleep. They're all bummed out that he's in there.
Yeah.
That dummy.
They're like, well, this is not
Yeah.
horrible.
Well, this is uncomfortable. Sorry, guys. You got into those prickers.
Do you have the footage of the pool ball being
I
knocked
do.
in?
You want to see it
Yeah,
later, or do you want to watch it now?
yeah. If you,
I have.
no pressure, I guess, but I do remember Derek showing it to me.
Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, that next morning he showed me. He's like, "Hey, check this out." I'm like, "Oh, that's nuts."
I think it happened like right in front of him too.
It looks like it. Yeah, here I'll show you. It's that ball in that corner there.
Oops, sorry.
That one right there. Wild, right?
Right.
That's so crazy. They didn't panic either.
No. Guess we could try that out later on.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, people have done that. They've set up like funny patterns on the table. Just make sure the cat's aren't in here, so they're not obviously
Yeah.
up here moving around, but or whatever. Risk it. Hey, Eric. Jim late? I think he left. Like that's why I can walk out.
What's his name?
Jim.
Jim?
Jim, the other one, Jim.
So you named all the cats like after humans?
Sorta. Yeah, he's Eric with a K. You see Eric getting thrown, though.
Oh yes. Oh, I think
Yeah,
he wanted to see that.
Crazy.
Yeah.
That just happened a few
That I
weeks
definitely
ago.
gotta see.
What they did was, here, I'll show you. Right there in the corner of the couch.
Oh yeah.
Jeez.
So
That must have felt good.
his stomach lifts up.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
I tried to slow it down and pause it.
That's
It's
not
it's like
normal.
his whole middle area lifts up
Yeah.
first.
So it's like somebody like scooped him.
Poor Eric. I'm sorry, buddy.
Yeah, that little room where
They always land.
my husband's watching
Yeah,
TV
he's good.
until they go to bed, but it's that room, that one little room there.
Yeah.
Yeah, super weird. And he's usually really mellow, like he doesn't just freak out.
Yeah.
People got some crazy, crazy stuff here. Yeah. Cool. Yep.
All right. Okay, guys, so we did the tour. I hope you learned a lot of information from Heather there. And so, yeah, there's a lot of history here going on. You actually saw me last time do like the inside of the house. And we had a lot of creepy stuff happen when I was here with POW, Paranormal Watertown. And yeah, so we did the inside. So right now Angela's inside doing a live stream upstairs. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna head for the back over here where there's a ton of creepy stories, Native American stories. Heather actually was talking about aliens, that they've seen balls of light back here. You saw the swinging bird feeder before that she talked about, that just is swinging all the time with no explanation. So I'm gonna walk back here. I'm a little creeped out to do this while okay, so I'm a little creeped out to do this, but we're gonna do it anyway and see what happens. So I brought a REM pod. I'm gonna leave it actually by the tree where the swinging bird feeder is, and then I'm gonna walk around and see if we could find anything out here, and we'll see what happens. So let's go. Okay, so we are gonna freaking dogs. So the neighbors, Heather was showing me that the neighbors are not close, right? They're not even close. You can hear the dog barking, but the closest neighbor is like way over there. And also back here, if you hear anybody talking, there shouldn't be people talking at all, because she showed it to me on the map, and there's a cornfield back here, and then behind the cornfield there's like a tree line, and then behind that there's nothing for miles. So there should be no people anywhere near here whatsoever. So this is like super duper duper creepy. Yeah, so I'm gonna go over and drop this I'm gonna drop this REM pod over here by the tree. I think it's over here. We will find it. It's one of these trees with the swinging bird feeder. I think it's this one. Wait, I don't even remember which one it is now. Oh, and there's a creepy little cemetery over here that you guys saw during the tour. So she said they actually just uncovered that, which is really weird that they didn't even know that was back here. So, all right. Hang on. Let me just make sure that thing stops. I'm not sure I'm going to be able to even hear it. Whoa. Okay. Can you stop? What the hell? Right underneath the freaking bird feeder. That's always swinging. Okay, can you stop? All right, it's chilling. It's chilling. All right. So, oh, I just saw somebody walking. That might have been Angelo, though. I think he's like doing a live stream. So, let's turn this guy on. Spirit Talker app. Just make sure the volume's up. So, yeah, okay. So this is super creepy back here. They apparently have seen shadow people back here. there is a cemetery that they uncovered, which you saw earlier in the tour, which is like over here. And then now I'm hearing stories about aliens, which I don't know how true that is, but weird balls of light. Whoa, yo, look, look. The REM pod's going off underneath the tree. Underneath the swinging bird feeder. Sorry, my finger was in the way. Oh, maybe we should just hang out here for a second. Look, 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 look. It's going crazy. It's going crazy, dude. All right. Okay. So, you got me all by yourself, or all by myself. Oh, you know what else? This is the area where there was 15 graves that they found. Right here. She said it was like 15 or 16 graves. All right. Can you make it stop? It might just be malfunctioning, maybe. That's a brand new battery. Oh, dude, it did stop, though. All right, do me a favor. No, that's not the favor. Make it stop. We're starting over. Thank you. If you are one of the people who was buried in one of the graves here, can you light it up? Oh, okay. Yep, okay. All right, do me a favor. Stop. Stop. Dude, it's so weird out here. I feel like I can't even talk. I feel like somebody's freaking like watching me. I feel like someone's watching me. Oh, that's like the little gnome freaking village thing. Which is kind of creepy, but it's just a little gnome thing. All right, do me a favor. I'm going to have to start it over if you don't make it stop. All right, let me... It is a little windy, but I don't think that has anything to do with it. It's a brand new battery. Okay, stop. Yo, I just heard somebody. I literally just heard somebody. I literally just heard somebody. Yo, it is so creepy back here, man. They say it's creepy in the house, but yo, it's creepy out here. It's creepy out here. All right. All right. This is a brand new battery, man. All right. All right, now it's still. Okay. Okay. All right, do me a favor. Dude, I just heard somebody talking again. I just heard somebody talking again. All right, listen. I know you're one of the people that was buried here. Can you tell me what your name is? It's so weird how it was acting up and then I restarted. I don't know. Sometimes that happens, I think. The bird feeder is kind of swinging, but it is a little bit windy here. All right, I'm gonna walk away. All right. Wow, that was kind of creepy, actually. And now look at it. Now it's like not doing anything. All right, we'll see. Because honestly, I've seen that thing kind of malfunction, even with new batteries. So sometimes you just gotta like restart it. So I don't know. That was creepy though, that it kind of told me that they were one of the people that was buried here. But we'll see. Sometimes it does malfunction though. But all right, we're just gonna leave that. Is this thing even going? It is, right? Oh my God, it's so creepy back here. Okay. Hello?
Johnson.
Johnson. Johnson. Oh, my battery's dying. Son of a B-I-T-C-H. I'm gonna go change the battery and come back out. We'll leave that REM pod there. All right. Brand new battery. Is this REM pod still going off? I feel like I hear it. Oh my God, dude, look at it. Look at it. Oh, it stopped, dude. As soon as I came around the corner, it stopped. It was like blue. I can't even make it that far because this thing keeps going off. I don't want to make the whole thing about a REM pod. I never want to do that. You guys have been seeing me do like a lot of Randonautica stuff, which has been really kind of creeping me out. So I'm like far away from home and I'm not doing rando right now. So going back into the haunted stuff. Oh, what's that? Helen. Look. Helen? I'm like super jumpy right now. Helen. Are you the one that's making this light up? Yeah, see, these bird feeders are kind of moving, but it's windy. You could tell, see? I think it's windy out here. Oh. Hi. There's somebody freaking near that bird feeder, man. Have you never seen one of those before?
It's my happy place.
It's my happy place. So your happy place is coming over here to play with this bird feeder and make it spin? Oh, I'm taking that as a yes. I'm taking that as a yes. Okay. Well, I'm glad that you... Whoa. I'm glad that you enjoy making the bird feeder spin. At least in the afterlife, you have a nice little hobby. Something that keeps you happy. Can you tell me on here Boy, they like to light that thing up. They might not have ever seen one of those. I'm sure people have just come out here trying to catch voices and whatnot. I don't know if anyone's ever dropped a REM pod here. All right, let's not make this too much about the REM pod though. One more thing, can you tell me anything else before I walk away for good? And I'll catch you on the way back. Can you tell me anything else that makes you happy besides this tree and the bird feeder? Anything. What else makes you happy?
Creepy.
Creepy. Yeah. Yeah, it most certainly is. It most certainly is creepy. Alright, I'm gonna walk away. I'll be back in a little while. Also, guys, I know it's a little bit windy, but do me a favor throughout this video, or at least throughout this portion, actually throughout the whole video, because you could catch stuff inside too. Let me know if you hear voices. Sometimes I'll go back when I'm doing the haunted stuff and I'll listen to it when I'm editing it, and I'll hear people talking. We're supposed to be able to hear people talking out here, and I'll try not to talk as much while I'm walking back here, but let me know in the comments at all, at any moment, and timestamp it if you do hear anything, okay? I'm hoping I'm gonna hear something.
I'm making noise.
I'm making noise? Where? On the REM pod. I'm making noise on the REM pod. That's what it says. I'm making noise. I see you making noise over there. I know you like that thing. Oh my God. Alright, anyway. We're gonna leave the REM pod alone for a minute. Let them play with it.
Day.
Day. No, it's not day. It's night. Man, they like freaking play with that REM pod. Okay, I focused too much on the REM pod. We're gonna stop doing that right now. Okay, so can you make a noise somewhere else other than the REM pod? Sorry if I'm panning too fast, you guys. It is a little nerve-wracking back here. Also, I'm sorry that my camera blurs out a lot. I don't know why that's been happening. A lot of the rando videos I was doing, my camera would just be like blurring out. And look, it's like not even blurring out as much out here. So I think it's because when you're in the woods, for whatever reason, because I've been winding up on a lot of these trails, that it just would like blur out for like seconds at a time. Hello?
Healthy.
Healthy? Yeah, I'm feeling a little healthy. I don't know how far back I want to go because this goes really far back. Can you do me a favor? Can I hear like some Indian drums or some Indian chanting or something right now? Sorry, there is the occasional car that drives by. It's gonna be interesting to see like what I catch as far as voices out here when I edit the video, because sometimes you don't hear them in real life, you hear it when you edit. Like the camera will catch it, but I won't hear it. Yo, look at that. Look at that. Look at that.
Night whispers.
Night whispers. Look at that. Right there. You see that light? You see that light? That's the moon. You see that light? So they catch these balls of light. That's not a star. Because look, where's all the other stars? Like, there's one there that's really small. You can barely see it. Look at how bright that light is, dude. It's moving. She told us about these giant balls of light that just hover around.
You're scared of me.
I am a little bit. Oh, you're scared of... Oh, by the way, it's... You're scared of me. You spelled "you're" wrong. Look. Look. It's one of those balls of light. That's so crazy, dude. Does it look like it's moving? Does it look like it's moving? Or it's just stationary? I mean, to me, it looks like it's moving. And look, there's no... Like, I see some stars. But look, none of them are that bright. Not that... Like, they're there. I can see them. But they're not that bright. Look at how bright that is. And you know what's crazy? It's all cloudy out here. It's cloudy. So why would that just be...
Gloria.
Why would that just be shining? Gloria? Hey, Gloria. Are you out here? Are you one of the people that was buried in the grave over there? Look at the REM pod. I don't know if you can see it. Oh, my camera's getting blurry. Just when I was just talking about before that it doesn't blur. Out here. Oh, there it goes. Okay. It's just creepy. Because look, you can't see any of the other stars, right? Do you see any other stars out here? I see the moon. And then I see that bright light. And she said that they hover above the fields back there. Because that's all cornfields. And then it's nothing but land.
Caroline.
Caroline. That might be a star. I don't know. I thought I saw it moving. It's so bright though. I don't get it. Okay, I don't know. I don't know. Those things are supposed to be moving apparently. These bright balls of light. But it doesn't look like it's moving though.
I was treated bad.
I was treated bad. Why? What happened? I can't get over that freaking ball of light. There's nothing else that's that bright. Like, why would that just be right there? It's got to be a star. Maybe I'm overreacting. I don't know. I just don't see any other stars, though, that are that bright. Let me know if that makes sense, because
Implies.
I don't see anything. I don't see, like, I see other stars, but they're not that bright. They're not as bright as that. Whoa, 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 whoa. Let me know if you just saw that. Let me know if you just saw that. I saw like a black ball, like a mass, just come shooting downward right in front of me. Like a black mass, like a ball of black mass. You see all that back there? Like the cornfields, and then there's like a tree line back there.
I can speak through this.
I can speak through this, yeah. Do me a favor. Can you tell me what that black mass was that I just saw? Or was I seeing things? What the hell? What the hell? I just saw a light right there. Whoa. What is that? What is that? Dude, that's nothing but bushes and woods. Why would there be something flashing right there?
My heart gave in.
My heart gave in. I don't know what that means. Did that mean you... Oh, they died in the house. The roots. The roots died in the house. So it was like a, what'd she say? It was like a horse accident. What's his name? Curtis Root? It was in a horse accident. Came home. Oh my God, I feel... Dude, I feel like I'm being watched. But yeah. Curtis Root apparently was like, I guess, in a horse accident and then died in the house 2 weeks after. Like, he made it home from the horse accident and then died in the house. So yeah, your heart gave in. Oh, the REM pod is going off again. I'm not really surprised. I'm pretty sure the wind cannot just make that go off like that.
Prepare.
Prepare? What am I preparing for? Dude, this is so creepy. I'm seeing weird lights in the woods over there. I saw like a black mass, dude, or something fly right in front of me.
Blue eyes.
Oh no. Blue eyes. I keep turning around because I'm so freaking freaked out. Okay. Blue eyes? Did you have blue eyes, Mr. Root? Or whoever you are?